Hey, this is Sam Phillips coming live from Jasonville, Florida, from Let's Make Things Happen. All right, so this is the intro, and what I wanted to talk to you today is about just the system that I use that I'm always going to be referencing in the rest of these videos about how we can optimize what we do in business when it comes to generating revenue. Now, this is not inclusive. It does not include every single thing that you can do in business, but what it is imagine that you have a product or service in your hand. You walk into a crowded room and you're trying to sell it to one person. Okay, so this is going to give you the simplistic, away from all the fluff stuff, bare bones way of knowing exactly what you need to consider in order to get that done. All right, so who is this for? This is for you if you make less than $1 million a year per location. Just if you understand that the increase in your revenue is going to protect you from things like increasing labor costs and other things that you can't control, like if your lease amount increase or taxes increase, all those other foolish things. You also understand that technology is rapidly advancing, and as technology advance, more people that has the know and the resources, they continue to have an advantage, which means in order to survive and to thrive, to surround yourself with collaborative tribe that care and support you in order to help you grow like we're doing here. Okay, and then you also want to increase the revenue of your business without necessarily taking on more busy work. One of the things that a lot of business owners struggle with is that growing their business means that they're a lot more busier. Well, nowhere in your business plan does it say that you want to be busy. It said that you want to generate your own wealth so that you can take care of your family. So we're going to show you exactly how to increase your revenue without becoming more busy, okay? And then you also desire to impact others in what you do. One of the reasons why we do this is because we want to build businesses in order to help improve positive experiences in the community and the people that's around us. So we want to work with people that has that same mentality. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we talk about in the upcoming videos, and we're going to go more into details. Right now I'm just going to stretch the surface to them, but before you get started with anything, what you want to do is you want to pre-engage. And the reason why I use that is because everything is conversations, okay? So before we know who we're talking to and how we're going to talk to them, we want to do a little bit of homework. And that is going to include understanding who we are, what our core beliefs are, what message that we're trying to get out into the world, what ideas that we want people to connect with us to, and what people we want to connect to and bring into our world. What are their desires? What are their fears? What do they believe in? Where do they hang out? So we want to really understand those things before we even start moving, because we may have a product in hand that doesn't relate to the people that we're trying to reach out to. The other thing we want to consider is the bit domino. Now, this in itself is not all inclusive. These are just the main points. I'll go into more detail in the actual video about it. But the bit domino, what that is if you think about the one thing that will cause people to basically come to your call. So if I wanted to buy a car, and I go to the car dealership, and the only thing that I really care about is that the car is big enough to fit all my kids, right? So if that's all I care about, then the price isn't going to matter, the color isn't going to matter, whether the seats is leather or rubber or whatever, it's not going to matter. If they only have one car they can fit all my kids, then, and I know that I can't get another car anywhere in town, then that is the car that I'm going to choose, no matter what the price is, no matter what anything else is. So that's the type of situation that you're trying to find for your ideal client. It's like, what is that one thing that you have to meet to and which meets their desires, that nothing else is going to matter if you meet that one criteria. Okay, so if it's someone that wants to tone up, then what is that one thing about your product or service that's going to help them tone up that nothing else is going to be able to answer? What is that one thing, what that's one desire is going to be for them? So kind of figure that out when it comes to your client, and you do all this before we start to engage them. I should go back up here. So then we go to a point of engaging, then we go to increase our sales, and then we scale. So when we're talking about engaging, which is step 2, we look at what platforms that people are on. Now everything is a conversation. All these platforms like Facebook, face-to-face, Gmail, email, whatever, they all just make conversations more efficient and more effective. So you got to understand that going in. But you also have to understand, where is your audience? What's your audience doing on those platforms? What are they talking about? What things are important to them? And the way that you figure this out is that you go back to step 1 and you say, how much about my desires do I know? How much about the desires of my ideal audience do I know? What of their beliefs do I know about? What are my competition doing with my current customers? How are they responding to them? So you got to figure that out on the pre-engage phase. So if you're really not sure, or if you're not getting up here to sales, then come back to this engagement part. Make sure everything is okay here. And then if everything seems to be okay here, then make sure it's okay here. Okay? So then when we talk about sales, what we want to do is we want to look at okay, sorry, I had a brief interruption. So when we talk about sales, what we want to do is we want to look at what your core item is, okay? And how much does that core item relate to what our target market wants? Okay, who is asking for this? Does it meet the criteria of their belief? What is it, something that we stand behind it? And then we want to tweak our message in order to bring them to us by relating that core item to what their beliefs and fears and pain points are. Okay, and that's why we do that initially. Now, in that, we also want to understand our customers so well that we also know what they're going to use in conjunction to what we're giving them. For example, if I sell someone a car, then I also know that they all going to want to buy some seat covers. They're going to want to buy some cute little hanging things that go on their windshield or on their rearview mirror. So because I know that they're going to go somewhere else for that, I'm going to go ahead and offer that to them as a upsell, as a downsell, and I'll go into more about what a value ladder is. But essentially, if my core item is so high, I want to have something that's lower that people can establish a know, like, and trust relationship with me, and then eventually they will get to my core item. Now, the way that they get to that core item is going to be in this part where you're scaling your business, because this is all about follow up. Okay, you don't get to this part unless you're following up, or you're lucky. So this involves turning your prospects who don't buy from you initially into sales, and it also involves turning your customers who do buy from you into more sales. Also into referrals, also into testimonials. You can also use your prospects and turn them into referral partners. Now, the thing that I need you to understand, though, is that your business is not whatever you're trying to sell. It's not your product and it's not your service. What your business is your list of people. That list of people is your true business. By growing a community, by growing a following, by growing a email list, or wherever you want to store. They can be a phone list, they can be a smoke signal list. As long as you have a way to contact them, that is your true business, okay? Because as you're able to follow up with them and build a relationship with them, then it doesn't matter what product you put in front of them. As long as they know, like, and trust you, they would buy it if they have a need for it. Okay, so get that mentality in your head. Your business is your list. All right, so we're going to dive deeper into these 4 concepts as we go on. And what I want you to do is kind of take this very fast overview of everything I just showed you and just sort of figure out where your hang up is right now. Okay, don't think of this as a lateral list, even though I have it as one. It's more like a circle, and what that circle does is it goes around, and some of these stages, they kind of overlap each other or whatnot. But just figure out where your hang up is at and then go back to the next stage. That's sort of why I'm showing you this, is because when there's so much stuff coming at you, it's hard to determine where that stuff fall. So now by seeing this diagram, you can kind of characterize where things fall. So if you're not getting a lot of people coming to you, it's probably because there's something wrong with your message in the pre-engagement period. You need to go back there and figure out what message or what customer you're really trying to hit, and make sure the message that you're saying to that customer will actually bring them to you. If you're getting sales, or if you're getting a lot of people but you're not getting sales, or you're getting a lot of sales but you're not making enough revenue as you want, then go back to the engagement and find out what messaging you can tweak. And even in the sales part, you can see what other revenue streams that you can put there. We'll talk about that in that particular series. Okay, so this is Sam Phillips, and we are going to make things happen around here. So thanks for joining us on this journey as we take your ideas and my ideas, we put them together and we make things happen. Okay, so I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.